So, good morning, everyone. My name is Priyanka Mahanta, and here I am going to present a topic on research methods. So, we will discuss the different types of methods that we use while doing research. So, the content basically consists of what is research and its definitions, research methods, the difference between qualitative and quantitative research, common study design in quantitative research, common study design in qualitative research. So first of all, what is research? So research basically consists of two different words, that is re and search. Re means again and search means to examine closely and carefully, to test and try to probe. So research is a detailed study of a subject, especially in order to discover something new, information or something new understanding. We can say research is a process of systematic inquiry that entails collection of data, documentation of critical information, and analysis and interpretation of that data and information in accordance with suitable methodologies set by specific professional fields and academic discipline. So next is a definition of research. Here I have listed down three definitions. So let's go one by one. The first is research is a patient study, an investigation to establish facts or principles, more principles. It is a discovery, rediscovery from facts, known facts to unknown facts. Research is progressive. The second is according to Grinnell 1993, research is a structured inquiry that utilizes acceptable scientific methodologies to solve problems and create new knowledge that is generally applicable. The third is given by Burns in 1997. He defines research as a systematic investigation to find answer to a problem. Next, we will discuss about research methods. Basically, there we can say we use two different types. One is quantitative and one is qualitative. So when we talk about quantitative research is used to quantify the problem by way of generating numerical data that can be transformed into usable statistics. It is used to quantify attitude, opinion, behavior, and other defined variables and generalize the result from a large sample population. It uses measurable data to formulate facts and uncover patterns in research. It is more a kind of structured than qualitative research. Next is qualitative research. So, when we talk about qualitative research, it is primarily exploratory research. It is used to gain an understanding of underlying reasons, opinions. It helps us to insight on the problem or helps to develop ideas or hypotheses for potential quantitative research. It is also used to uncover trends in thoughts and opinion and dive deeper into the problem. It is generally unstructured in nature. So the next is difference between qualitative and quantitative research. So first difference is in qualitative research, the data type consists of descriptive statement, but in quantitative research, the data type can be measured and expressed numerically. The second difference is in qualitative research, we use text-based data, but in quantitative research, we use number-based data. The third is in qualitative research, we statistical analysis is harder, but in quantitative research, statistical analysis is much easier. And the last is in qualitative research design, for collection of data we use like interviewing, writing documents, observations, etc. But in quantitative data, for data collection, we go for survey, observation, experiments, and interviews. The next is study design in quantitative research. Here we divide it into three broad areas. So first is the number of contacts with the study population. The second is the reference period of the study. And the third is the nature of the investigation. So let's go one by one. The first is the study design based on the number of contacts. So here there are three types. First is cross-sectional studies, second is before and after studies, and the third is longitudinal studies. So what is cross-sectional studies? Cross-sectional studies, it is also known as one-shot and are most commonly used research design in social science. In this, we decide what we want to find out about, identify the study population, then select a sample and contact respondent to find out the required information. For example, like customer satisfaction with a product. Like second example is the attribute of student towards facility in library, etc. So, however, the main limitation of cross-sectional studies is that we cannot measure the change in it. The second is the before and after studies. So, the main advantage of this before and after study design is that it helps us to measure the change in a situation, issue, and problem that we were not able to measure in cross sectional studies. So, a before and after design can be described as two set of cross sectional data collection point at the same population to find out the change between the 2 points in time. The change is measured by comparing the difference in the variable before and after the intervention. Like for example, effect of advertisement on sale of a product. Here we can measure the change like before advertisement and the effect after advertisement on the product. The third is the longitudinal studies. So, in longitudinal studies, like in before and after study design, it is appropriate for measuring the changes, but it is less helpful for studying the pattern of change. So, to determine the pattern of change in relation to time, longitudinal design is used. It is useful when you need to collect factual information on a continuous basis. Here, a population is visited a number of times at regular intervals and data is collected. The intervals may be a week or a month or a year, any. So the next is study design based on reference period. So here there are two basic types. One is retrospective, the second is prospective. So retrospective study design, it studies a phenomena, a situation or problem that has happened in the past. They are usually conducted either on basis of data available for that period or on the basis of respondent recall of the situation. The second is prospective. It studies the phenomena or problem that are likely to prevail in future. Such studies attempt to establish the outcome of an event or what is likely to happen. The next way is study design based on the nature of investigation. Here there are three types. First is experimental, then non-experimental and quasi-experimental. So first is experimental research design. So experimental research design are what they typically involves manipulation of variables and random assignment of participants to condition. Here in experimental design, it has strict standards for control within the research design and for establishing validity. It provides evidence for cause and effect relationship because of their ability to determine causation. The second is non-experimental research design. So, in non experimental, on the other hand, can just be an interesting but cannot draw same conclusion from it as you have done with the experimental research. So, in non experimental research, it is usually descriptive or correlational, which means we either describe a situation or phenomena simply as it stands, or you are describing a relationship between two or more variables, or randomly assigning participants to a control group. The third is the quasi or semi experimental research design. So, like in true experiment, quasi experiment design aims to establish a cause and effect relationship between an independent and dependent variable. However, unlike true experiment, a quasi experiment does not rely on random assignment. Instead, subjects are assigned to groups based on non random criteria. It is useful where true experiment cannot be used for ethical purposes. Now, we already have studied the study designs and quantitative research. Now we will discuss about the study designs in qualitative research. Here I have pointed out five different types. The first is focus groups and group interviews. The second is the oral history, then case study, participant observation, and the last is reflective journal log. So first is what is focus group? We can say focus group is like where opinion and perception etc. are explored through a free and open discussion between a group of people, like a group discussion, and it consists of approximately 8 to 10 peoples, and they are given the topic and they are uh, open to discuss about it. The second is the oral history. In oral history, it is a method of data collection where it studies perception, expectation, and accounts on an event or gathering historical knowledge as viewed by individual. It is a picture of something in someone's own words. And here we can say memory is the core of oral history. Like one needs to remind the situation and they need to describe in their own words like what they feel about it. The third is the case study. So case study is important. In case study, it is important to treat the total study population as one entity. The case study design is based upon the assumption that the case study is typically of cases of a certain type, and therefore a single case can provide insight into the events and situation prevalent in a group from where the case has been drawn. The next is participant observation. In participant observation, it's another strategy for collection of data in qualitative research design, and it is a social interaction or a phenomena where it is usually done by developing a close interaction with the member of a group in a situation which is being studied. So here the researcher need to involve in the activity of the group created. He need to have a social interaction with them and then create a report with the group and keenly observe the situation prevailing in that group. And the last one is reflective journal log. So, in reflective journal log, basically, this design entails keeping a reflective journal log of your own thought. Like, as a researcher, whenever you notice something, or talk to someone, or participate in an activity, or add whatever you are trying to find out about, this reflective then becomes your basis of your findings and conclusion. So, this is the end of my presentation. Thank you.